I have done a lot of content on this channel regarding the setup process after you already have your microphone installed on your computer. This video is dedicated to the setup process prior to the post-processing that happens on your computer. If I just said a lot of words that was confusing, all I'm trying to say is I'm going to show you how to set up your microphone correctly. If you've ever asked yourself how far your microphone should be from your mouth, the position of the microphone, how should it face, which way it should face, that sort of thing, we're going to be talking about that in this video. Cue the transition. Now, you might not know this, but there's actually several different kinds of microphones out there. I want to start this video off by talking about different kinds of microphones. There's really only two types of microphones that you need to pay attention to if you're doing recording like I'm doing. That is a condenser and a dynamic microphone. There's also shotgun microphones if you're interested in recording outside. It's not something that I personally own, so I'm not really going to be able to cover that as fully as I would like to, but I will be talking about the shotgun polar pattern a little bit later in this video. What I want to do is actually compare different kinds of microphones so you have a better understanding of how they function. I have the webcam microphone, super budget kind of microphone. We have another budget microphone, which is a condenser microphone. It is the Blue Snowball Black Ice. The reason I have this microphone is because I've had it forever. But the reason I want to record this is because it's a condenser microphone. It's the only condenser microphone that I have. It will get you a good idea of how condenser microphones work. And that's what's important. And then the dynamic microphone, which is the Shure MV7 that I have right here. Those are three different microphones in three different price ranges. You know, the microphone that comes on the webcam is going to be your cheapest microphone because it comes as part of a camera and it's not good. And then you have the Blue Snowball, which is a budget microphone. It runs for like $45 right now. And then we have the Shure MV7, which is like roughly $250 US. Before we continue, I do want to give a shout out to the man that helped me with this video. We call him CoffeeRat, Dr. CoffeeRat, Coffee. You pick it, you name it, whatever. I've linked his socials down below. Make sure you go show him some love because he's a genius. He does this stuff all the time. Fantastic guy. Love him. Good friend of mine. Helps people in my server all the time. Which, speaking of, my Discord server is a great resource. If you need help like this, make sure you join the Discord. Link is in the description below. Say hello. All right, so what we're going to do is compare those three microphones. So I need to make sure I get my microphones all hooked up. So let me do that real quick. And all right, I got everything set up. I got my webcam there, microphone ready to go. Got my Blue Snowball right here hooked up. I'm just going to hold it. It'll be fine. You'll get the point. So I'm going to be using a phonetic phrase that will capture pretty much every letter in the alphabet, every sound within the alphabet on every single mic, starting with the webcam, so you have an idea of how they sound. So the webcam mic is an Omni-Directional mic, the Blue Snowball is a condenser mic, and the Shure MV7 is a dynamic microphone. Let's jump into it. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. We'll circle back to that webcam audio later on, but we're going to be focusing on that condenser microphone and the dynamic microphone and the difference between the two. The condenser microphone is going to be picking up those high highs and those low lows. It has a wider width in that audio. If you think of audio three-dimensionally, condenser microphones pick up a wider range in that audio, making that audio more realistic. The downside of a condenser microphone is the fact that it's going to pick up a lot of those quieter noises. So if you don't have a properly sound treated environment, it will pick up some air noise or fan noise or AC noise. You know, some of those quieter noises will be picked up by that microphone if you're not in an environment that is properly sound treated. And that's where a dynamic microphone comes in. A dynamic microphone is really going to lose some of those high highs and those low lows, making it less realistic or natural to the actual sound of your voice. However, it's really going to reject a lot of those quieter noises. So when you're in a noisy environment or a untreated sound environment, the dynamic microphone is generally what you want to go with. If we take a listen at the blue snowball one more time, the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. What you'll notice in that recording there is a lot of kind of airy noise or staticky kind of sound coming through that microphone. That's because that's a condenser microphone and it's picking up a lot of that environmental noise that is in my room. So when you're getting a microphone for yourself, you need to keep in mind the type of environment that you have and the type of mic that would be better suited to that environment. If you have an environment that's really closed off in which you could get away with using a condenser microphone, that's probably the better route, as you could get better quality out of that microphone or a more natural sound from that microphone. However, if you're in an environment like mine where the acoustics are really not that good, a dynamic microphone might be better for you. In most cases, many of us don't have proper sound treatment within our rooms, and a dynamic microphone is better for our streaming and recording needs. But sometimes we can use a noise gate on our microphone and get away with using a condenser microphone without picking up a lot of those sounds that are irritating within an audio mix. Now that we understand the difference between a dynamic microphone and a condenser microphone, we can go ahead and start talking about different polar patterns. What you're seeing in the screen in front of you is different polar patterns that come with a microphone. You have omnidirectional, you have cardioid, you have supercardioid, hypercardioid, bidirectional, and shotgun. The omnidirectional polar pattern within a microphone will pick up everything, meaning it's trying to pick up the sound from the entire environment. Webcam microphones, like the webcam microphone recording that you heard earlier, is an omnidirectional microphone. Let's listen again. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. What you hear in that mix is everything that is in that environment. That's why it sounds so noisy when you're listening to that microphone, because it's trying to pick up everything that's in the environment. The cardioid polar pattern picks up what is in front of the mic or facing the microphone. Now, it doesn't have to be audio that's spoken directly into the microphone. It is anything that is in front of that microphone. So if, sound is reverberating off the wall and bouncing back into the microphone, that audio will be picked up on a cardioid polar pattern. The supercardioid is a narrower pickup at the front, meaning sound from the left and right would be less present. However, you get a bit more pickup from behind the mic. The hypercardioid is a rare polar pattern, not typically an option you want to go with because it picks up a larger range in the back, similar to a bidirectional, but not as much of pickup in the back compared to a bidirectional. In our case, it would pick up even more keyboard noise than the supercardioid polar pattern. The bidirectional polar pattern is basically cardioid in the front and back of the mic, meaning it's going to pick up all the sound that's in front of it and directly behind it, but it's going to ignore that sound from the left and the right. And then last but not least, the shotgun polar pattern isn't really useful for indoor use. It can be slightly more muffled when used inside, and it's not typically something that can be fixed with EQ. The shotgun polar pattern, as you see on the screen here, is a little bit different and weird. It's not typically used inside. It's actually something that's used outside for outdoor recording because it does really well at kind of suppressing or rejecting a noise that is in the environment that's outside, a lot of that environmental noise. Now that you know the different kinds of microphones, condenser versus dynamic microphones, and the polar patterns that are within each one of those microphones, you're more prepared to go purchase the microphone that's better suited to you. I'm going to go ahead and make some suggestions as far as microphones that you should be purchasing for your personal setup regarding your environment and what you're looking for as far as sound goes. Instead of spending the next 5 minutes or so suggesting microphones and interfaces, I just decided to link them all in the description below. I separated them by budget and also the type of mic. So you're going to have noise rejecting mics separated into budget, a little more expensive, and then expensive, And then the same thing with more natural sounding mics. You're going to have the budget microphones or the budget setups. And then if you have more money to spend, it's all listed down there and broken up based on the amount of money that you're willing to spend for the quality that you want or the type of microphone that you want. Thank you for bearing with me as we got through that list. Now we can actually start talking about how you can set up the microphone that you have for yourself so you can get the best audio quality you can out of it. I know it took a while for us to get here, but I wanted to make sure that we covered everything about microphones prior to the fact so that you have a better understanding of why we're setting it up the way that we're setting it up, because it is important. Because far too many streamers have their microphone like way over here and you can't hear a damn thing, right? And then you have to really crank the gain and all that stuff in order to make it sound good, when your microphone really needs to be right in front of your face. With condenser microphones, what we suggest is you stick your pinky out and your thumb out, touch your lip, and that's the distance that your microphone should be from your mouth. If it's any further than that from your mouth, you're going a little bit too far away from your mouth. When it comes to dynamic microphones, the best way to kind of measure that is to stick 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers out. And the distance between those fingers should be the distance from your mouth to the microphone. This is dynamic mic. It's exactly 4 finger lengths from my mouth, and it has been this entire time. That is to ensure that we're getting the most of our vocals in the microphone. It's very important that you follow those guidelines. Now, in order to actually get your microphone from, the ground to your face, you're going to need what is called a boom arm. In the description below, I have linked some suggested boom arms. We have the Elgato low profile. The reason we're suggesting that is, one, it's a low profile boom arm. It swivels at the base, making it out of the way of things instead of like in your face, which is really nice. And it's super high quality. The ones that are linked in the description below, you'll notice, are not exactly cheap or budget boom arms. There's not a single budget boom arm out there that you can purchase that is considered good quality, and that's why we just didn't bother even including those down below. For instance, the boom arm that I have is rather cheap and I can't stand it. The springs on it make noise if you touch them, for instance, or if you hit your desk or whatever, it can end up shaking these cheaper boom arms, creating more noise from your microphone. Spending a good amount of money on a boom arm is actually a really good idea because it's more sturdy. It won't shake when you're touching your desk and that sort of thing, and it won't pick up a lot of those sounds. Something else that I have to do because I have a cheap boom arm is place a towel under my keyboard so that it kind of suppresses those keys when I'm clacking away at my keyboard, because I will be hitting those keys and again it will shake my desk, which shakes the boom arm, which shakes the mic, which creates sound. So it's important that you buy a sturdy boom arm in order to get the most quality out of your microphone, and that's why you'll notice that those boom arms we suggest are about $100 each, because they are made well. After you have your boom arm and your microphone in the proper position, you'll notice what is called plosives, and it's been on this video the entire time. There's nothing I can do about it because I currently don't have a pop filter for this mic yet, but we're talking about pop filters. Pop filters are made to reduce plosive noises, and it's actually really annoying to listen to on the other end, so I apologize for my plosives this entire time because I know that they've been a lot. The pop filter that we suggest is the Stedman PS101. It's linked in the description below. The reason it's not cheap, yet again, is because this is the only pop filter that we can suggest 100%, knowing that it's not going to muffle your voice and it's going to still, take care of those plosives effectively. On the cheaper end, if you're going to buy a cheaper end pop filter, they're pretty much all the same. You are going to have a slight muffling happening when you place that pop filter in front of the mic. When you get a pop filter, all you need to do is make sure you crank it onto your boom stand and position it in front of your microphone so that it can catch those plosives. And last but not least, the last thing we want to talk about is prior to applying post-processing, prior to doing any form of editing on your audio, you want to make sure you're getting the levels of your microphone set correctly. Now you're going to do this through your interface, or you know, if you have a microphone like the Shure MV7, I have this volume slider here. You're going to want to make sure your volume sliders are all correct within Windows, that sort of thing. What you want to do is make sure that your peaks of your audio, like the highest point of your audio waveform, is not going over -6 decibels. This is important for post-processing because you're going to need that space from -6 decibels to 0 decibels for post-processing. It's very important. You want the volume of your vocals to be hitting right around -15 to -12 decibels on average. Mine hits right around -12, -13 on average, and that's right where you want it to sit. Once you've done all those things, you're going to get the most quality out of your microphone prior to applying any post-processing. So congrats. Good job, everyone. I appreciate you. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. If this video was useful and helpful for you, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to this YouTube channel. I know I threw in a lot at you. If you guys have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comment section below. I appreciate you very much for watching my video over the other videos on the internet. I do my best to bring you the best information possible and making sure that it is accurate to your needs. So thank you so much for being here and watching my video. I appreciate it. If you need any further assistance, hop in my Discord or Guilded servers. Both of them are linked in the description below. I'm winded. I need to edit this video. So I'll catch you next time. Peace.